So we're going to attempt to make a large bowl. So I've got a nice lump of clay here. Doesn't really matter on the size or the weight. The bigger the weight, obviously the more clay you've got to play with. I'm just going to show you how to make the shape. And what I suggest is you start with the weight you're sort of throwing with, so 600-800, get the shape right and then increase, because it's the centering that can be hard work, which you're probably about to witness. Okay, in we go. So I've put a circular bat on because I don't want to be wiring off when something becomes large. You don't want to be faffing around with it. I'm going to lift the bat off and let it dry on there. I'm also going to leave quite a deep base so I can do some nice trimming, because that's my favourite bit. So first I'm just going to attach it. Some potters don't do this, but I like to. So you'll find when you're throwing with a bat, this bat or the chamois isn't quite centred. It doesn't matter, it's just if you have to ignore the wobble on that, as long as your clay's still in the middle. That's the bits that's important. Okay, so now we're going to go in. As I say, I like to leave quite a deep base so that I can enjoy my favourite bit, which is trimming. And then, as we always do, we're just widening that base out so it's useful. Keep your hands wet. With you using a bigger piece of clay, of course, it'll dry out more because there's more clay to dry your hands out. Ooh. And then we'll get the sponge just to clear up the slosh from the middle. See what that base looks like when all the sludge is gone. And then I'm going to slow the wheel and my hand movements down now. So I pull from the back usually, so I'm going to stick with that because it's going to be a big beast, this I hope. And I'm making a cylinder first. Always go up. Get your cylinder ready. Nice and chunky, don't make it too fine at the top because you're going to ask that top to stretch eventually, so you want clay in there for it to do it. So we'll get some height before we ask it to go wide. Okay, so we've got a reasonable sized cylinder there. Now I'm going to ask it to go up and out a bit. So my outside, so if you were doing it here, your knuckle wouldn't be doing as much work, or your fingers on the outside, and yeah, basically the outside hand now doesn't start pushing as much. So nice and slowly, you might seeing it bellying out as it comes back round to my hand. I'm just going to ask it to squeeze out a little bit. My hands are a bit dry there we go. If you're not feeling brave, you could leave it like that. If you are feeling brave, I'm going to go a bit more. Think about it being supported from the walls are supported from the base. So the shape you make it, don't sort of like have overhangs because they'll droop because they're not supported. And we're getting there. I'm just going to slow it down a bit more so I can spend my time collecting some clay at the bottom. Now you notice my elbow on my right is now just locked into me because I can't have it on the wheel because it's too big. I can't reach. Don't catch. Okay, we've got a nice big bowl. Tidy up. Just have a look at the shape and just make sure it can support. And I'm just going to make sure the walls are all nice, equal thinness with the sponge on the outside. So I'm not really doing a lot of squeezing here. And I'm just going to make sure that is supported, and I don't want the rim any thinner. And I'm just going to soften it. Clean up the base first, and then soften off the rim. And then a little bit of trimming now, although the trimming phase really for me comes later. It's my favourite bit, as I keep saying. I'm just going to take out some of this so that it will pop off the board a little sooner than later. Just notice it's trying to sink a bit, so I'm just pushing a little bit out and lifting that side up. And then letting that sponge go. I'm going to clean this up and stop now because it's thinking about sagging a bit. So a little, when you want it to stick, it doesn't. When you want it to pop off, and obviously I don't want it to plop off too fast because it will then fly across the room, which would be sad. Yay, there we go. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry until it pops off the board, and then I'm going to have great fun trimming it because I've probably got a good centimetre of base there, so I can put in a little pedestal foot, which is my favourite. There we go.